Boker Tov. Shalom. Hey everybody, it's Brandy Bear, and I'm back for the final day of my Israel trip. So I finally have all 8 days out of the way. Jerusalem, you can see the Dome of the Rock. Then here is a church at the Mount of Olives. Here is some more Mount of Olives. Then here is the entrance to the Garden of Gethsemane. As you can see, there's the St. Andrew's cross up there. Then here is a picture of the Garden of Gethsemane. So they don't believe that any of these trees were the ones that Jesus prayed at because of how olive trees replenish themselves. So these trees that you see were not dated back to the time of Jesus. However, the roots, essentially the roots always stay, and then as one branch of the tree dies, another one grows and then becomes a new tree. So it is possible that the roots, actually it's extremely, extremely likely that the roots of one of these trees were the same roots of the tree that Jesus cried at. So here's a gate. Here is a thing of Jesus at here is a window with an obvious crucifix there. Here's the ceiling at the Church of Nations. The reason they call it the Church of Nations is because, well, they believe that the Word of God should be brought to every nation, but then also because different nations could pay to have, they could donate to the church and have their insignia and stuff put in the church. So there's Star of David. Here is the United States little dome, because the United States gave money to the Church of Nations, and there's our little seal. Then here is the back of the Church of Nations. We're back outside. Here's a crucifix at the gate with two crowns of thorns. Here is the St. Andrew's cross in the gate. And then here is a cross with Alpha and Omega in it. Very, very symbolic gate. Then here we are at the Lion's Gate of Jerusalem. Yeah, Lion's Gate, like the movie. And as you can see, there's not enough room for, there's barely enough room for 2 cars, but a lot of traffic goes through here. Is the pool where Jesus healed the man, the man who couldn't get up from his mat, and he was always waiting to get into the pool, but nobody would ever help him. Well, this is the pool where it happened. Here's the steps. Here is some steps on a stone wall. Here's a palm tree. Okay, so here we are in a church. Then here's this little 8-pointed star thing that we see a lot. So here's one. Then here it is again outside of the church. And once again, Israel likes to parody things that already exist. So I'm going to guess this is something for a carpentry shop, but for some reason, Mario. And then here's that 8-pointed star again. And here's a parrot. And here's a restaurant with a fantastic deal that if you don't like the food, you don't pay. So all you got to do is pretend you don't like the food, I guess. And of course, here's the Holy Rock Cafe. And then here's some stuff in Jerusalem. So these little metal things, as you can see, there's doors, but they have alternating grapes and pomegranates in the design. Now the reason that pomegranates are so important is because that pomegranates are central to Israel. And here's the fun thing, is that people think of the forbidden fruit as being an apple, but there's a majority, it's very likely that if it were to be any fruit that we know, it would be a pomegranate and not an apple. I mean, if the fruit still exists. Then here is the door to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and this time I'm actually talking about the Church of the Holy Sepulchre that celebrates and marks the place where Jesus died. Here's the interesting thing, is that there's so many different churches trying to fight for this church. They're the Greek Orthodox and the Roman Catholics, and there's so many different churches that are trying to claim this church as theirs, that they can't decide and they can't trust anybody with the keys to the door. So you have all these super, super conservative Christian organizations who have decided that because they cannot decide who the church should belong to, it is better that they have somebody outside of the church take responsibility for the door. So there is actually 2 Muslim families that have the keys to the door. The churches don't even have the key to the church door. They actually trust the Muslims to do it, which I think is really, really awesome. It shows interfaith, it shows brotherhood, and it shows trust. And it is not something that any American church, well, I won't say any, but it's something that American churches really wouldn't do. So I think that's kind of funny and really trusting and just very interesting in general. Okay, so here's people at this little stone tablet down there is believed to be where Jesus' body was prepared. So that's why this is holy. So here's this little altar thing. And then this is the inside the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. These are tombs. These are not the tombs that Jesus was laid in, but these are tombs that are very similar to the time period. And then here's this big building thing, and in this building, this little wooden whatever it is, this is believed to be where Jesus was crucified. So there's believed to be like the ground where he was crucified at is here. And then here's a painting in Jerusalem, which I find interesting because it shows, it seems like everything's just so old-fashioned. Like they have goats and they're dressed old-fashioned and they have old-fashioned things. But then here's this modern boy with a backpack and a water bottle and shoes, getting a grapefruit and everything with his baseball cap backwards. So I'm going to guess that this picture is to show that like the past interacts with the present because he's getting the pomegranate from this young girl. And then here is a door at one of King Herod's palaces, which he also had in Jerusalem. Again, King Herod had just palaces everywhere. Here's a tower from it. Here's another tower from it. Here's the inside of a tower from it. This is one of those little areas at the top of the tower where archers would go. So this allows them to have, I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. See, this allows them to fire arrows at enemies and still have full range of visibility and full accuracy, whereas for somebody else far away to try to hit into this small space would be very difficult. So it protected the archers. Here we are back in the bazaar. And then, I choose you, Pikachu! And apparently the cold did indeed bother her anyway, because apparently she loves to go to Jerusalem, which I also might add that everything that's supposed to be capital is lowercase, and everything that's supposed to be lowercase is capital. So they probably had the caps lock on when they made this shirt. Also, Spider-Man, Hello Kitty, and Minions in the bottom right corner. Apparently everybody loves Jerusalem. Speaking of, there's the Pringles man on a yarmulke with NBA to the top of the picture. Then here's a cat sleeping in a basket of bags. There was a store that sold creepy doll people. Here they are. Then here's necklaces, and all these necklaces and pieces of jewelry have to do with pomegranates. Like I said, they believe there that if the forbidden fruit was a fruit that we would know, it would be a pomegranate, not an apple. And then there was the thing I said where people would put it on their doorpost to hold scripture. Well, they actually have stylized ones of this. And here's Mickey doing whatever. I don't know exactly what he's doing. One of my friends says it looks like a cowboy. Maybe he's jumping rope. But the thing is that there's something around his neck that is the same texture and appearance as the rope he's holding. I know he's not trying to commit suicide in this, but it really kind of looks like it. Especially since he's going to be hanging from your doorpost. Okay, here is a model of the Ark of the Covenant. This is what it would have looked like. Here's some Arabic. I just love the way the Arabic looks, especially because they have it chiseled in the stone, and it just looks so cool. Here's me with Professor John Greer, the one who was in charge of everything. Here is our phone at the Dan Hotel. The reason I took a picture of my phone, yes, I know you've seen a phone before, but every morning we had to get a wake-up call from all the hotels to make sure that we were up in time to get breakfast and be on the road to go to the next site. The reason I took a picture of this one is because their literal wake-up message was, "Wakey, wakey, rise and shine." And the reason I find that super hilarious is if any of you have ever seen the Monty Python Dead Parrot skit, at one point John Cleese, he pretends to be a man who purchased a dead parrot. He goes, "Wakey, wakey, rise and shine. This is your 7 o'clock alarm call." And then he like smacks the bird's head on the desk. So I thought it was really funny that they started with "Wakey, wakey, rise and shine." Then here is a t-shirt that has a menorah, a Star of David, and the fish. The fish marks Christianity, and then the menorah and the Star of David obviously are Jewish. But here's the thing: is because Christianity and Judaism both stem from the same text and were in Israel, they would not think to separate Christianity and Judaism as much as we would. Like us in the Western world, for us they're completely different things, completely different religions. Even though Christianity is based off Judaism, they're not the same thing. You would never see a fish with a menorah and a Star of David, or a Star of David with a cross on the inside. You wouldn't see that here. Okay, so here we are in the Dan Lounge in the Tel Aviv airport in Israel. So Dan had his own hotel. He had, his mountain of Dan. He had his own little scent collection. He had his eco-friendly thing that says about how he saves water. And now Dan gets his own lounge in an international airport. Good job, all you Dans out there. And yes, the logo from this is the same as the one from the hotels. So the hotels actually do own a lounge in an international airport. Then here we are. This door, it says leaning on the door is forbidden. I just think it's kind of funny because we usually have caution signs that says do not lean on door, warning, do not lean on door, caution, do not lean on door. But this one says caution, leaning on door is forbidden. And I realize that I've never seen forbidden in any signs in America before. And then here we are flying over Israel, and there's the Mediterranean Sea. And then here we are in Istanbul, and I found this kind of funny. So it is modern slang that guys are, or just significant others, are called bey, which is like B-A-E, before anyone else or something like that. I don't know. But in Turkish, bey means men. Like, it's not spelled the same way, but the way you would say it is bey. So this is a sign showing that men are indeed bey. Here's giant packs of Marlboro. Um, they're clearly advertising against their case, but they don't care. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna put that smoking kills, but people are still gonna buy it. That's how you know you have a good product. You can tell people how horrible your product is and still sell it in bulk. Then here's Santa, just a derpy little face right there. And then this is me after we're starting to board and I figure out where my seat is. And this is me realizing I'm going to be surrounded by like 3 screaming children in a metal tube for about the next 10 hours. I was thrilled. But okay, so luckily on the plane we got free movies. So one of the things I watched was If I Stay, which is a fantastic movie. I suggest it if you are a fan of drama. If you're not, it's probably not going to be your thing. Then here I am in the lavatory, and I think it's funny how it says no smoking in lavatory, but if you look below the door lock, there is an ashtray, so I wonder what the message is supposed to be there. And then here is a still from Hotel Transylvania 2. I probably watched this movie like 2 or 3 times over the flight. I really enjoyed this movie. I liked the first one. I definitely like what they're doing this with the second one. Had a nice message. Um, Very entertaining, very good visuals, but this is not a movie review of Hotel Transylvania 2. Also, if you can see the top of the screen, I am watching that 7.5 hours in with 5 hours left to go. It was lovely. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, if you liked the pictures, if you liked the commentary, please like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, this is the last of this series. My computer keeps freezing. This is the last of this series, so there won't be any more Israel pictures. Then I don't know when I'll get back to making my regular do whatever I want videos. But yeah, again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!